Hello everybody, I am back, the Crazy Crafter. I haven't produced a video here in a long time, but I wanted to show off a couple molds I just got from Monessen Creation. I will leave her channel in the description box below, along with her Etsy shop. There's this gorgeous flower mold. I can't wait to mold these. This is going on my table in case I have extra resin tonight. And as a free gift, she sent me a second mold of this gorgeous teddy bear. Of course, what's going through my mind is how can I make this Halloween? A Halloween teddy bear. But there's all kinds of little facets in it. Facets. Really sparkly. Can't wait to pour this one too. Who knows? Maybe I'll have enough extras to even pour him. We will see. Now, I am pouring this skull, and maybe I'm hoping to get this one too. I have to make two of these little small ones, make them into keychains for my son. He wants a red one, and then whatever else colored. Red one is for his Harley Davidson, because he has a red Harley Davidson, and this one is for I'm making another one of my son does 3D printing, and he burned up a cheap blender by trying to blend 3D scraps. I already made one of these molds as a test, one of these skulls with that in it, and I gave it to him, but I'm making another one tonight. Okay, I am mixing up 8 ounces. Now this mold says it's supposed to hold 8.6, but I am filling this to the top with that filament scraps. So there's going to be a lot of displacement, so it's not going to take 8.5 ounces. So I'm mixing up 8, and this little guy takes less than an ounce. So I'm hoping, all goes well. And I see something floating in there. I'll have to catch it after I'm done mixing. But I will see you when we are done mixing. Okay. And after you mix, when you use these electric mixers, you probably have heard this before. Always make sure you mix a little bit more, scraping those sides and that bottom so that you do not have any unmixed resin. And I realize that this angle is not the greatest because I think my hand's getting in the way of everything. I'm probably going to switch angles, try something else. I just can't do overhead right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I got to pop this into my bubble removal. It's also by Let's Resin. Get rid of the bubbles. Then we could get to pouring. Clean off my tool real quick. I think I'm at a point where I need to probably think about buying stock in Bounty paper towels or something. So I'm going to be I go through them, trust me, in my everyday life and in my resin life. So let me go pop this puppy into the bubble removal, and I'll be right back. Okay. There are a few surface bubbles, but you get this even in a vacuum chamber. The bubble removal machine that I use is from Resin, and it is so good. So I just spray the surface with a little bit of alcohol, and that kind of gets rid of it, but it gets it crystal clear. I love their bubble removal machine. I just don't have a way of having a setup to do a full vacuum chamber. But anyhow, I'm going to take some of these. I already sprayed this inside with alcohol and rubbed it around to try to help prevent some bubbles. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to chuck this full of this filament. Then we're going to pour the resin. I want as much of this filled up as I can get. I think that actually looks pretty good. Yeah, my dog's barking because somebody's on a motorcycle this late at night in the neighborhood. And she ain't happy. Okay, so I am going to pour this nice and slow. Now, I don't know what you can see or what you can't see. Try to change the camera angle. Then maybe you'll see more, that my big arm doesn't get in the way. But I'm pouring this nice and slow, because I don't want to incorporate a bunch of more bubbles. I think this plastic's going to produce bubbles anyhow. You want to pinch his nose up here. So we'll make sure resin gets down in there. Let the resin fall. Okay. Let's add some more. Maybe I'll have enough for my son's keychain. See, last time I did 10 ounces. And I ended up filling up keychain, another one of the skull molds, a shit ton of extras. And I started a drip mold. What is the drip mold? One of the skulls. This is it right here. We're almost full. We're almost there. I'm also thinking, well, maybe I need a little bit more filament in here. Maybe not. Look at my. Make sure it's down in there. And last time I ended up with a really bad rash on my face. It's resin rash. I do have my air purifier running, but I also now have goggles. My son gave me his goggles that he used in school. He's an LPN right now, but he's going to school. So is his wife. They're both LPNs and they're both in school and working full time to get their RN. Well, he needed these goggles for chemistry class, and he's never used them again. Well, Mama just got them. So I could protect myself from resin burn. And I didn't even get resin on my face. It was just the fumes and stuff from it. And it affected around my eye or around my eyes. My eyelids and stuff were all red. Sorry if I'm getting my head in the camera. I don't know if I am or not. But I'm just trying to get an idea where I'm at on the level. Make sure this is topped off. I want it domed. That wasn't smart. Hopefully I didn't get resin in my hair. Okay, now that is domed. And that's what I want. And I do have enough here for that little. And okay, so these cups do not, I wish I could bend it, but it's not going to. So I already picked out, and I need to get another one of these sticks over here for the little mold. Where is the powder? This is from Resin. It's red, glow in the dark. This is the other one that I made. He would probably take this. He wants one for his truck keys and one for his motorcycle. He doesn't care what color his truck keys are. I probably could give him this, put the eye hook in. But to me, it just seems really girly, that color. So it's more purplish. And so I think I'm going to do this one in red. And then when I pour on my next skull, I think I will do him a green one. But on camera, I'm just showing this one right now. If I could get the bag open. Hold that thought. Okay, got the bag open. So, next time I film, I'll try to work on better camera angles. I don't even know how much of this I should use. I'm not mixing up a ton of resin. Ton of glow in the dark, that is. Okay. Let's clean this off. Okay. And what I do is gently squeeze a little bit of alcohol in here, real carefully so it doesn't spray everywhere. Then I'll pour my resin in here. But this helps to dissolve and mix up that resin, or the pigment, the mica powder. So you don't have unmixed micas in your resin. Okay. Now see, how much do we even have? Ounce-wise, where's my ounces? we have less than 2 ounces, so I would say 1.5 ounces left. And I could have mixed it in this. However, these big plastic cups get to be expensive. And I clean them and reuse them a few times before I toss them out. Clean them with rubbing alcohol, get all the resin out of it, and it can be used again. So, I am going to scrape this, because I didn't think that took, I thought about 1 ounce, but I'll make some glow-in-the-dark flowers or something, or glow-in-the-dark teddy bear. Or put it in my drip mold. Okay. And I want to mix this really slow because I don't want to, I'm going to incorporate some new bubbles in here, but I don't want to incorporate a bunch. I see I still got some resin supplies I got to dig out. I think I've got more of these, more of my popsicle sticks, craft sticks, whatever you want to call them, downstairs. That's where I used to do my resin work. But the ventilation down there is worse than it is up here. At least I can open windows. I can't open windows down there. And I was getting rashes really bad. Just as bad as up here, but more than just my face. Okay. Is that enough pigment? I don't know. It's like, I feel like I need some more mica in that. So I think I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And just mix it really well and make sure all the mica gets mixed up. Because to me it just doesn't seem dark enough. I want it a little bit darker. And I have a whole set of 16 colors of theirs. Glow in the dark of Let's Resin. I know, it's a little bit more than a little. It just seemed too translucent. A little bit too translucent. So I think this will be better. And it says red on there, on the package, and that's what he wanted, was red. This is the closest red I got. And let's move this over a little bit. All right. What's down in my mold? Look like a piece of filament. Okay. If my head's in the way, I can't tell, and I apologize. That's domed. We ain't moving it. Let's try this new mold. Well, this is a lot of resin. Let's do the bear. Let's make a glow-in-the-dark bear. I can't even see where I'm pouring because of the shadows. Probably gonna have some cleanup to do. Absolutely gonna have cleanup to do on the bear. Most likely. But I think he's domed. I don't know. Do I need another drop? Actually, you could probably take a couple more drops. I'm ordering paper cups because at least those you can pinch, right? What else do I want to do glow in the dark? Do I have anything else out handy? No, we could try to drip in a little bit of a couple of these flowers. Curious on how they're going to come out. Glow in the dark flowers, who would have thought? I had a feeling I shouldn't have colored all that resin. See, that skull only took just about an ounce and a half of resin in here. So it probably only took half an ounce. Let's do some buttons. Yeah, we can do some buttons. Glow in the dark. Buttons are fun. Okay, we got some buttons going. Is there anything else that I can do? The rest of this, I am going to put in my drip skull. No, waste none, right? You waste none. You do not waste resin. And to have a little bit of glow and dark in this might be pretty cool. Okay, so lesson learned again. 8 ounces is way too much resin for this mold. I could probably do 7.5 and still have enough for that. So what I'm going to do from here is, now I'm not even putting this in the curing machine. It can cure on its own. I'm going to put the top on it. I'm going to clean up my tools. And we're going to get this cured, and I will see you back on demold. I guess I'm kind of hoping I can have the keychains done tonight. I'm getting up early in the morning. If I could find all my keychains components, then I could give my son one of his keychains tomorrow. But he's going on vacation. He's not going to be riding his motorcycle anyhow. But it's a nice thought. Okay. I'll see you on demold. Okay, it is the next day. It is demold time. And we're going to start with the extras. This is that flower mold from Monessen Creation. These flowers are darling. They are darling. Of course, these ones are glow in the dark. A little bit of trimming I need to do on these, but that's okay. I need to get an organizer to put all these extras in, embellishments in. These are just so cute. I'm happy that I purchased this. And it was relatively inexpensive too. So if you want this mold, I highly recommend you head over there. It's not that much. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it off the top of my head, but it wasn't that much. So a little bit of cleanup on these, but these are going to go into yet another little tiny cup. I need, like I said, I need some kind of organizational thing to keep all these little extras in. Let me grab another little cup to put flowers in. Okay. Oh, this is the total fail. We're not even worried about that one right now. That's when I couldn't get the resin into there because I really needed a pipette. But here's the other beads. You have to excuse my thumb hurts. I've got like trigger finger and I've got this really big ball inflammation in there. Let me tell you, it hurts. Certain ways I put pressure on that thumb, it hurts. Okay, there's one. A little bit of sanding that needs to be done on it. These would be cute for Halloween earrings. See, I'm having trouble demolding these. I probably just need to demold off camera and then show you. Yeah, there's still a little bit of sanding that needs to be done. But that's okay. My buttons. I love this mold. Yeah, trim. A little bit of overpour on a couple of them. I try to be careful with these, but it doesn't always work out that way. Gonna have to re-drill a couple of these holes up. There are bubbles in this one. That one's going. This one's perfectly clear, but I do need to drill the holes back through. I still got to figure out some lighting in here. Better lighting. A little bit of trim work on the buttons. I was at like kind of that odd camera angle too and trying to stay in frame. Couldn't really tell what I was pouring. Now, this. I was anxious for this. This is that free gift. The bear on when I ordered. Need to trim him a little bit of overpour. Oops. But really, really, really cute. And then the little skull is going to become a keychain. Let's see how well I can get this one demolded. This one's not easy to demold. It's just so small because there's a lip under here. Okay, I just had to go off camera just for a second. Try to get the seal broke, and there we got it. Okay. Yeah, I got trim work. Excuse me. I got some trim work on this little itty bitty skull. And I'm going to trim them up and finish this up. Put one of them little screw thingy, hickory bobs in to attach a keychain. And now, for this one. Okay, I got my soapy water here. Try to work that around. This is one of them, I almost have to get it up against me to get it started. Once I get it started, and without cutting myself, because these all need trimmed. I'm still not the best at doming. I try. Sometimes it's my eyesight. I do not have possessed depth perception. So sometimes it's hard for me to tell if something is completely domed or not. There we go. Let's turn the mold right side out. Okay, ready for another skull. And here we are. Made with the filament from the 3D print. I'm looking at the detail. There is some sanding down here that needs to be done. There's a couple little bubbles that were down here. But that's the only place where there's bubbles. I might be able to do a little bit of sanding, maybe do a top coat of UV resin, put it under the light. But I don't know, I was thinking about either some glow-in-the-dark UV resin in the eyes or black paint in the eyes and the nose. Maybe a little bit to bring out definition in the teeth. But let me think about that for a minute, and I'll be right back. But one more thing, I wanted to put the UV light on this. Well, this was supposed to be red, but it's more yellowish or orangish in my opinion. I guess you could see some red in there. Just trying to charge this up a little bit. Of course, it's broad daylight out. That doesn't help. And the teddy bear. Yeah, it's red and then it glows like a yellowish color. Well, that's the closest to red that I got. But I'm sure my son will be fine with that. See the buttons. Okay, now let me go get to trimming. I'm just putting these away and I'll trim them when I'm ready for them. Might trim this a little bit. But I want to trim up the bear and the keychain and do something with this guy. Okay, it is several days later. I'm just now getting around to recording this last segment. Okay, the keychain for my son. Here it is. I will light them up here in a minute. And this is that skull with all that filament in it. Hopefully you're able to see that. The lighting is atrocious today because we've got storms going on. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And there are glow-in-the-dark fragments of 3D printing filament in this as well. All that I did is I used my Blacklet's resin paint pen, painted the eyes, painted the nostrils, highlighted the teeth a little bit, and then I used a little bit of UV resin to seal it all in. Now, speaking of UV, it should get pretty dark in here when I turn all the lights out. Okay, let's bring this puppy up. Let's charge these. Okay, there you go. This is going to be for his motorcycle. See what I'm talking about? Little fragments of glow-in-the-dark filament. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little wonky in the beginning, but I got my camera angles figured out now. So I hope to see you here real soon in the next video. We'll figure out what I'm doing. I got so many new molds and stuff in. Spent way too much money, but I am self-funded. I am the only one I got to answer to. But I love you all. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. And I want to start building this channel again. Love you, and I'll see you next time.
She's mixing resin in the soft lamplight, burgundy shimmer catching his side.